Joe Imbriano. I guess there's a conflict of interest with Ms. Fitzgerald. Okay, Mr. Levinson brought up a lot of problems with state law, and I share those concerns. Now, are your hands tied? No. Are they kind of tight? Yes. Are there ways where you can govern local zoning and building restrictions? Of course. Now, the state law is very specific, and if the state law is not lined up with a local ordinance, the local ordinance becomes null and void. My question to the council, if you've read any of this or have looked into any of this, and I would hope you would, because that's why we elect you, because we work and we have to pay taxes and take care of our families, and it's your job to look out for us and look out for the community when stuff comes down the pike that's possibly a curveball. Now, the state of California is very diverse in its socioeconomic strata, in its geography, and its topography. This is a set of recommendations connected to a requirement. It does give you a lot. It gives you a tremendous amount of liberality in implementing this. You're giving away the farm by taking away the lot size restriction. You've taken that completely out. That's the worst thing about this. The second horrible thing about this is that there's no discussion on whether multi-stories is something that would, I mean, you're giving the farm away on two very big things. We still have the right to retain the decision over how big of a lot can join this party. And you've taken it down to the floor where everybody can jump in. Now, I've been all over this city making a lot of contacts and talking to a lot of people. I've had doors slammed in my face. I've had people invite me in wanting to buy me drinks for the rest of my life. And I'm going to tell you something. Every place I go, these roads are crap. They're awful. And they're only going to get worse. And so what do you guys got in front of you? A way to make them a heck of a lot worse, a way to make them a heck of a lot more crowded, and no way to pay to fix them, because as Mr. Roeder said, we don't have the park dwelling fee in stone on this thing either. So there's no guarantee of any return. So let's look at this from a realistic standpoint. We have no control over who can do this now because you've thrown it all away with the way this thing is written. You've taken away the ability to say, hey, only one story. No, there's nothing in here saying that you can't do a two-story. So what has to happen here is the city council has to do their homework and understand what they're voting on for once. Because I've seen way too many times that you guys approve grant applications that are blank, that you approve cell tower contracts that aren't even written, that you have stuff in front of you that you clearly don't understand. This is the beginning of the end of this community if this is not handled properly. The intent of the legislature is to deal with a housing crisis. This is going to cause a population explosion and a further increase in commoditization of housing. Because the reality is, as soon as these granny units go up, the demand is going to continue to increase. There's a tremendous amount of pressure on how much people are willing to pay here because of the climate and because of the economic situation. This is not going to solve our problem in the short term. And the way this thing is written is it's going to create a long-term nightmare, because guess what? When a whole neighborhood that has traditionally been owner-occupants who know each other and are tightly woven together, all of a sudden now introduce another component of the population, strangers, people that don't live there, people that come and go, a transitory element. Ladies and gentlemen, there goes the neighborhood. What I'm saying is I'm not against this, because obviously we can't stop it. But what I am here to tell you is that you need to look at this and keep the reins and hang on to the controls that you have as public administrators over what is going to happen to this community. And the way this is here presented tonight, you're throwing all that control out the window. And that, to me, is insanity. And that is completely, in my opinion, as corrupt as you can get. Thank you.